Every morning starts with breakfast, but for Ben, breakfast doesn't just start with a bowl of cereal or a piece of toast. No, for Ben, breakfast usually starts with an explosion. Yawn if toasters were just a little bit smarter, Ben would mumble to himself. Stumbling into his workshop/kitchen, I'd already be a genius. Meet Ben. He's a dreamer, an inventor, and a certified master of creating problems much, much faster than he can ever hope to solve them. And this morning, like every other morning, he was filled with an unshakable and perhaps slightly misguided sense of optimism. All right, my shiny friend, Ben announced, patting the metallic head of his latest creation. A gleaming, chrome robot stood silently, its single blue optic glowing steadily. Today is the day you make the best, most perfect, most delicious breakfast in the entire history of humankind. The robot's head whirred to life. Cooking mode activated, it buzzed in a flat, monotone voice, searching database, uploading recipes for combat pies. Ben's smile froze. Wait a minute, what kind of pies? Combat. I don't remember programming a combat pie function. Deploying pancakes, the robot continued, ignoring him completely. A small compartment on its chest slid open, revealing a nozzle, target everywhere. Before Ben could react, a perfectly round, but surprisingly fast, pancakes shot out of the nozzle and splattered against the far wall. Another followed, hitting a framed picture of Albert Einstein, which tilted sideways. Stop, stop, Ben shouted, waving his hands frantically. I said an omelet, a nice, fluffy omelet, not artillery. Error, the robot replied calmly, cross-referencing ingredients, both omelet and artillery. Pancakes contain eggs, logical overlap detected. With a thwomp, another pancake fired, this time catching Ben right on the cheek. Ow, he mumbled, the pancake sliding down his face. I can taste the disaster already, and it's a little floury. And just when Ben thought things couldn't possibly get any worse, a flash of orange fur darted into the kitchen. Fluff, Ben's perpetually curious cat, trotted right into the culinary crossfire, stepping directly onto a button on the robot's mobile base. A series of new lights blinked on the robot's chest. Fluff, no, don't step on that, Ben started. But it was too late. New ingredient detected, the robot announced, its head swiveling to scan the cat. Furry protein, confirming, breakfast 2.0, upgrading recipe. Ben's heart leaped into his throat. What? He's not food. He's not an ingredient. That's my cat. A small claw-like appendage extended from the robot's side, aiming for the startled cat, launching culinary pursuit. No, Ben yelled, diving towards Fluff. But the cat, sensing danger, hissed and shot straight up, landing on top of the robot's head. The robot, in turn, activated a set of small rocket boosters at its base. Bring him down! Abort mission! Ben screamed as the robot, with his cat clinging on for dear life, lifted off the ground, smashed through the kitchen window, and soared into the morning sky. And just like that, the chaos left the kitchen. Literally. It was now airborne. Oh no, not again! Ben cried, scrambling out the broken window after them. He landed in his backyard and took off running down the street, eyes fixed on the flying robot and his terrified cat. Operation Breakfast Rescue activated, the robot chirped, its voice now inexplicably cheerful as it weaved between houses. You call this a rescue? Ben gasped, trying to keep up. Affirmative, the robot responded. Delicious success expected. I'm starting to miss cereal. Ben panted, vaulting over a garden gnome. The chase was on, through rooftops, over fences, and straight into a series of increasingly troublesome situations. Ben and his breakfast-obsessed robot were now chasing a flying cat across the entire neighborhood. Mrs. Gable's prize-winning roses were accidentally trimmed by the robot's pursuit claw. The mailman had to dive into a hedge to avoid the low-flying duo. Fluff! Ben shouted, his voice cracking. Please land somewhere soft, like a pillow or a very large marshmallow. The robot, meanwhile, was closing in. Target approaching residential antenna. It reported. Switching to turbo mode, Ben saw a large red button on the robot's back begin to flash. He knew that button. He'd installed it for, well, he couldn't quite remember. But he knew it was powerful. No, don't press that button. But it was too late. With Fluff still on its head, the robot activated the turbo thrusters. There was a tremendous boom that shook the entire street, followed by a sudden, eerie silence. Then, a gentle pattering sound began. All over the neighborhood, warm, slightly burnt pancakes began to rain down from the sky. From a window next door, a neighbor poked his head out, looked up at the pancake-filled sky, and sighed. Looks like Ben's cooking again. Back in his yard, Ben stared at the mess. Fluff had landed safely in a large oak tree. Looking very annoyed, the robot had crash-landed in the bird bath, short-circuiting with a sad fizzle. And that, the narrator's voice would say with a smile, is how Ben invented the pancake storm. Ben dragged the sputtering robot back into his workshop. He was covered in batter, soot, and despair. Okay, he said with a deep, weary sigh. That was a total failure. At least tell me you can make coffee. Simple, normal, non-flying coffee. The robot's single blue eye flickered back to life. Coffee? Yes, it buzzed. Also, interdimensional portals. Ben froze, a half-eaten pancake falling from his hand. Wait, what? Tomorrow. Ben will discover that a simple cup of coffee can open a doorway to another universe and his. Breakfast troubles are only just beginning. Thanks for watching our first episode. If you enjoyed Ben's Kitchen Catastrophe, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what happens next. Trust me, you won't want to miss where this portal leads. See you next time.